Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with another Comic Book Origins. This is where we take a look at the very first appearance of any comic book superhero, villain, or team. And today we're looking at Rebecca Buck, the Tank Girl, first appearing in a comic book I could not find. I failed this time around, gang. Usually I could dig it up somewhere, but unfortunately I didn't. However, I did hear that the comic book that I did find was a reprinting of the first issue of Deadline. Yeah, she appeared there for quite a while. She became sort of a counterculture icon, as a matter of fact, for the empowerment of women in punk rock. Oh, and a big shout out and a thank you to Seismic, by the way, for commissioning this video. I am sorry I couldn't find a copy of Deadline #1, but I hope this one suffices. If you want to commission a video, by all means, go on over to Ko-Fi, links in the description below, and pick a topic. Bad comic beatdown, really that bad. Comic book origin seems to be the most popular, although really that bad or really that good are second place. You pick up any, like I said, any topic, and I'll get a video out to you ASAP. Thank everybody who's already done that, because it's a lot of fun, and I get to read some comics I've never read before, like I'm about to with Tank Girl #1. That's the fun part. What's not fun is the reason why, and that's because, in all honesty, YouTube's choked out this channel. The views used to be anywhere between 600-800 to the sky's the limit, and now they do this thing. They used to do this thing called 300 plus, where they would stop at your analytics at 300, and they would stop counting views the whole 9 yards. For some reason, they stopped my views at 100 now. And I keep asking them why and what can I do to fix it. They won't tell me. So I created Old Man Comics. So if you look up Old Man Comics Englentine on YouTube, go over there, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Make sure you're subscribed. All the videos eventually are going to be over there. Anyway, thank you very much to everybody who's already done that and everybody who's going to. And with all that said, let's get into the reprint of Deadline #1, Tank Girl #1 from Dark Horse Comics. As always, I start off with a cover, and how can you say anything bad about this? Seriously, is everything you need to know about the character on this particular cover? She's got missiles for boobs, for cripe's sake. Not to mention the crazy-looking teddy bear. There's nothing you can say wrong about this. I wouldn't say it's a great cover, but it is absolutely perfect for the story we're about to get. There we go, Tank Girl by Jamie Hewlett and Alan Martin. We catch up on the first page with Tank Girl as she's looking over a ravine. We see some kangaroos of all things. Come on, boys, the beers are on them. Does anybody know whose Barbie this is? Who cares? Soon as we get there, we'll just kill everybody. Wow, we just don't care, do we? That's because we're kangaroos. I'm a kangaroo. And Tank Girl, of course, is asking what a Barbie is, and the caption says, "Our heroine, Tank Girl, is after the bounty on this foul-mouthed marsupial's head." Okay, a bit on the nose with the, "hey, we don't care about nothing" dialogue, but oh, alrighty, we're getting to a good start. Let's go. Things had changed in the outback since Crocodile Dundee had moved to the Shoreham by sea. Kangaroo had moved on from destroying the crops to snogging farmers and burning their kids. The prairies of Australia were no longer safe for the hard-working rednecks. "Hey, Rocky, you think these people at the Barbie, they're gonna be packed?" "You serious? All they got is hot dogs and beer bellies. You guys have got me, remember. I've got a bounty on my head worth $100,000. I'm that hard, me. I'm that hard." I guess he's saying hard. "Who the hell's gonna mess with us?" And of course we see Tank Girl looking like she's about to aim her gun. Just over the next hill, the local pop star's Barbie is in full swing. "Hey, Shirley, you stupid dunghead, what happened to these hot dogs? Looks like you cooked them with a flamethrower." "Ah, keep quiet, crap cake. I got more important things than watch your hot dogs." I'm not going to say that word. So anyway, we see everybody's having fun at the party when all of a sudden the kangaroos bust in. And for some reason, they think that, guys, if you're from Australia, explain to me this, because he literally says, "Run like hell, fat people. We've got chocolate bars on our heads." What kind of threat is that? And this is when Tank Girl decides to join the party. She fires a bomb at him, and whole thing is chaos. The dialogue, what's going on, the kangaroos chasing after the people who are at the party, and then, of course, Tank Girl just bursts in with her tank, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what is that? And all the kangaroos are like, well, forget that noise, I'm out of here, and they start running away. And we see her just basically run over and kill everybody. As a matter of fact, she pops out of her tank and she's like, hey, what do you know? I'm here. And everyone's so drunk they've fallen asleep, to which an old man replies, they ain't sleeping. Woman, they're dead. You killed every last one of them, but you missed the leader. He went that way. Why, thank you, kind sir, and may your day be full of fun and jocularity. And we see the leader running through the desert yelling, I'm dog meat, and Tank Girl chases right after him. He makes it to a rock. It says he has to climb to the top of it so she can't get to him. She seems to be able to hear it and even says, oh, it must be because she's in a comic book, so apparently she's very aware of it. They both make it to the top of this rock and just are dead-ass tired and begin to laugh, and then they have sex. The kangaroo looks at him and says, well, I guess that means you're going to let me go, and she shoots him saying, nope, and then looks at the audience and says, if you're a tank pilot, stick to your guns, don't be greedy, and take up some sort of bounty, or so forth, or so on. And that's our introduction to Tank Girl. Not the first issue, we're not done yet. I just want to point out that I do like these first opening pages because, one, it establishes the character in just a few panels that she's in it, and two, it establishes the world, but it really does take advantage of all the craziness that the medium can bring to us. Cut to what I guess is the next story, where we find Tank Girl slumped over a rock, hungover, saying, wow, it's a good thing I don't get any missions because I'm fat, out of shape, and pretty much undisciplined, which of course means she gets a radio call saying, hey, Tank Girl, we need you. We've got a humdinger of a mission for you to perform. And so General What's-His-Name on the radio gives her the mission. Okay, sweetie, calm down. We can all imagine how darn excited you must be right now, but this is really, really important. Let me fill you in. And she's like, not now. I'm on my menstrual cycle. What happened to the tank we gave you? What the foosh are you on about? Never mind. Here's the mission. There's going to be a big party in Sydney Harbor at 4:30 this afternoon. All the world's biggest trade delegates will be there. President Hogan will be hosting the do. As I'm sure you know, it was his 92nd birthday last week. The poor guy's getting on and has had trouble with his bowels. We want you to deliver a consignment of colostomy bags to the president before he drops his load. And, of course, this sends Tank Girl into a laughing fit. I'm sure you can imagine the importance of this mission. Can you do it? And she says, no sweat, and heads out. And then this comes off as a little bit of nonsense because some sort of creature monster thing's looking for somebody named Jane, jumps on Tank Girl's tank, knocks her off of it under her butt, and she's like, I'm going to kill you. He was dead the moment he saw me. And they begin to fight. He knocks her out long enough for her to miss delivering the colostomy bags, and it ends with, of course, being told that the president had dumped his drawers. That's the story. Not for nothing, but I do notice that Harley Quinn, not just now, but when they first started giving her her own series, really does resemble Tank Girl. It's almost like they decided, okay, you know what, let's just copy it or something. So we're told this is issue number 3, or chapter 3, and it turns out it is actually issue number 3 because she goes off saying, in issue 1 I bagged off a kangaroo, in issue 2 I made the president crap his pants, and now in issue 3 I'm hunted by some Australia's nastiest bounty hunters. How can I fit all this in and still find time to wash my hair? I do not know. So let's continue. And so our story begins. Vex Godlove, the notorious backstabbing low-life bounty hunter, fakes a nasty accident deep in the heart of the outback. Was born under stationary car chrome. I don't know what tune he's singing, but he's singing a tune. Yes, sirree, and this time next week I'll be driving around in a 5-gear metallic convertible Mustang with matching mudguards, and I'll buy it with the reward money I get for the capture of that little tart Tank Girl. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be the easiest million I'll ever make. As always, Vex has a cunning plan. I'll just sit tight until the dumb bitch arrives and sticks her nose in. Like they inevitably do. Reckon I'll start by breaking her legs, then I'll stomp up and down on her backbone until it snaps into tiny little pieces after all. She's just a weak, pathetic woman. She's no match for the awesome multitude of Vex God. And, of course, that means that she's behind him. And then they throw some witty banter back and forth where she's holding a reversible skin gun that can, I guess, skin him. And he's like, hey, I've been here for 2 years. She's like, no, you haven't. I passed by this thing 3 times and you haven't been in there. He goes, hey, you don't need to be so nasty. She's like, I'm hunted. I could be as nasty as I want to be. So she says, hey, I'm going to show you all these violent weapons I've got. And he's like, oh, dumb bitch fell for it. And she's like, oh, here I got a gun that expands a man's testicles 10 times its original size. And that kind of gets him scared. And at some point, once again, she ends up chasing him down with the tank where he doesn't do so well against the tank. And she's like, ooh, he must have had a heart attack or something, even though obviously he's been crushed by a tank. And then she's like, oh, come here, little koala. You look so cute. And starts playing with the ears, but then the koala tells her to get her hands off of him. And at that point in time, she hears a jet, which promptly crashes right next to her. And I'm beginning to believe that Mr.'s rhyme nor reason have bothered to show up for this comic book today. So she finds out the people on the plane were on a holy quest, but they quickly say, no, we're going to a Christmas party. And she's like, well, why you blame the devil for your plane crashing? And they said, well, we're flying along when all of a sudden the pilot's balls just increased in size about 10,000%. I got to admit, I kind of laughed at that one. Good job, Tank Girl. You made me giggle. So Tank Girl offers to give him a ride, which they accept and immediately regret as she drives off one cliff onto the side of another, which rolls right along. She thinks, haha, I can scare them. She drives off yet another cliff into the house that they're supposed to arrive at, causing all sorts of higgledy-piggledy. And when she gets out, she's like, do you realize what you've done? And they're calling her crazy bitch. Great party. Where's all the action? And she sees a baby. Who's this ugly little monster? Jesus Christ, our Lord. So it is. Fancy stumbling on the second birth of Christ and forgetting to bring a bottle. You know, some people forget the true meaning of Christmas. Make sure you don't forget, always take a bottle to parties. Hey kids, it's time for an art lesson. How to draw a Tank Girl the Jamie way. Number 1, pencil in a nude figure with an HB pencil, ensuring the proportions are correct. And then add the appropriate clothes, boots, t-shirts, hat, and panties. And then ink the bastard. Ta-da, you have now drawn Tank Girl. Her name was Tank Girl. She was the kind of person who left pubic hairs on your roll-on deodorant. The kind of person who deserved to be strapped between 2 nuclear warheads and then violently murdered. Let's do it, Sergeant. Let's boogie till we puke. I trained her, taught her everything she knows, and still she has no respect for me. Still, she seems immune to fear, immune to death. You're a guitar without strings, an angel without wings, and you're a fat asshole. There it was again, that stagnant lack of respect, that vile, demented attitude problem that I always predicted would be the death of her, and I got the pleasure of being Mr. Executioner. Look at me when I'm going to kill you. The male ego rides again. Should I faint or scream? I kicked hard and the booster whipped the tail fin. I was away. Scream, damn you, scream! Boy, oh boy, have I got a surprise for you, dirtbag. And all of a sudden, missiles shoot out of Tank Girl's boobs, crushing who we find out is Sergeant Small Unit, who is now so fearful that Tank Girl will kill everybody that he decides they're on a holy quest to destroy her. Sounds familiar. Okay, so they decide to use the Psycho Squad to go after Tank Girl. Then we cut to Tank Girl's crew, and they're hanging around their little pit or whatever, and they're talking about how they're not really wanting to be chased around by the law anymore. And one of Tank Girl's friends suggests getting plastic surgery, and Tank Girl's like, wow, can they make me look like Barbie Benton? And the friend is like, dude, you already look like Barbie Benton. You really should go for the Margot Kidder look. But she's like, hey, my boobs are too big. And he's like, yeah, dang right on that. And then we cut back to Sergeant Small Unit, who wants bigger missiles on his vehicle. And it's just a hodgepodge of scenes that really have no segue or anything between the two of them. So it's a little bit confusing. But yeah, anyway, let's continue. And we find out that the plastic surgeon that her friend wanted to take Tank Girl to doesn't use surgical tools but uses voodoo, and he ends up turning her into kind of a mess. And then, of course, the sergeant rolls up. The Sergeant Small unit rolls up in his tank wanting to kill her. So there you go. We're all caught up. So Sergeant Small unit yells to them, "You in the shack, this will be your only warning. Come out with your hands up by the count of 10, otherwise there will be trouble." And so the voodoo uncle decides, "Okay, don't panic, kids. I got a secret trap door in the back room. It leads to a mound of rocks behind the shack. We can make a clean getaway. It's the least I can do after messing up your pretty face." "Great, let's go, boys." So they all get to the hole, and of course the nephew goes first, and Tank Girl's like, "Hey, what's the matter with you, Stevie? You tan your pants? Whatever happened to ladies first?" But as Tank Girl's climbing down, the voodoo kicks in, and she becomes way too fat for the hole, deciding she'll try to trick Sergeant Small unit. She says, "Hi, guys, you must be looking for Tank Girl. She's in the back room, powdering her nose. Feel free to go in and rough her up as much as you like." Sergeant Small unit isn't having any of it. "Funny, wise ass. Don't think you're gonna pull the wool over our eyes." "Well, talk about Sod's Law. The after effects have worn off and I'm back to normal again. Okay, boys, put the cuffs on. It's a fair cop." "No cuffs, Tank Girl. We're not taking you back with us. You're gonna die right here." "You bastard, you always did have a chip on your shoulder when where I was concerned. What's your problem, dog breath? Is Small unit your surname, or is that your frustrated little problem? Come on, spit it out." And just as she says that, her boobs grow to enormous length, crushing him just like in a dream. And he yells, "No more talk, just oh my God. It's another dream, another terrible nightmare. When will it stop? When will I be free? Mercy." And they watch as all the Nightmare Squad watches as he drops to his knees. "What does he mean, a dream?" Tank Girl says. She pumps back up really fat. And Sergeant Small unit puts his gun to his head. Unit's mind can no longer withstand such torment. "Gotta wake myself up before she crushes the life out of my soul." And he pulls the trigger. A bloody end for the obsessed Sergeant Small unit. But what of the Nightmare Squad? Well, they certainly weren't infamous for their intelligence. "You heard him, boys. He says we've got to wake ourselves up before she crushes the life out of our souls." And they all begin to shoot themselves in the head. Seconds later, blood and guts settle, and Tank Girl frantically searches for a morale to sum up this rip-snotting humdinger of a story. 21 years old. And you're wearing 5 idiots' brains around your face because they blew their heads off right next to you, and you're supposed to think of a morale, to make it all seem worthwhile? Well, screw that and take it any way you want it. And there you go, gang. That is the first appearance of Tank Girl. Actually, it's more than just the first appearance. These are the first few stories that would have appeared in Deadline. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I kind of liked it. It's a little bit out there by that. I mean, there's really no structure to it. So if you enjoy the chaos, you're going to love it. I thought it was all right. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to click like and share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Make sure those notifications are on so you don't miss anything. Cool things happen around these parts, and I'd hate for you to miss a thing. Also, if you want to help out the channel, go on over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi and drop $1 in the till. We've got tip jars there. Or you could commission a video much like this one. All you got to do is go to Ko-Fi. Once again, you'll see the subjects, the topics. You pick the subject, and I'll get that video out to you ASAP. Thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.